Hey everyone, it's the end of March. This is just a quick video to do a recap of some of this month's finds. It was a great month, but also to do a little bit of an unboxing to share with you some equipment that I'm going to be putting to use here shortly. So let's get started. Okay, so here's a recap of just some of the stuff I found this month. Just incredible. I think I found two gold rings this month here, both of which were down in Cancun, and I'm pretty sure that those have been shared. If you haven't seen the video about those finds, give it a watch. This was also a ring that was discovered down in Mexico. The very first hunt of the year, the normal hunt, I actually found this. It was pretty close to a surface find. That's a nice silver ring. On my dig down at Mini Dig Stock, of course, this was on my bucket list. This for me was a find of a lifetime. Looks to be quite old. It's a quartz arrowhead. Absolutely love that. Of all places, in my backyard, I found some cool stuff this month. I live on an old property. Found what could be, I don't know, an old baby spoon, not 100% sure. An old railroad switch key from the Chicago, Minneapolis, St. Paul Railroad. Some really cool history was able to be pulled off of that. I found some cool buttons this month. A military service button with a great seal here, found on a ski hill. I'm not sure of the date, 100% sure. This could be 50s, it could be earlier. One individual thought it was even World War I. I'm not sure if it's that old, but that was a fun find. This was an incredible find. This is a Wisconsin state seal. I don't know if that's the right side. I think that's it right there. That may be upside down. We'll see. But I'll put a picture up here of the Wisconsin state seal. There's a farmer, a miner on here, a badger. I think there's 13 or so stars that signify the 13 states. But, you know, for this to be found, to me, is incredible. It has the name of the manufacturing company on it on the back. Incredible find. I only wish I was videotaping it at the time. Didn't expect to find anything that day in my backyard. We found a ton of silver, a couple Mercs. Most recently, this 1950 Washington quarter. I found my first Walking Liberty at the scout camp. Man, that was a great one. Some fun coins down in Mexico. Some old coins that have been taken out of circulation, as well as some current coins, and my first large cent. What I believe, I still am not 100% sure, this is either, I think, an 1818 or 1819 large cent. Hey, these are the finds for March. It was a great month. I only hope the next month is relatively close to this. If so, we're off to a great start for 2021. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about are display cases. You know, I've been finding some really cool stuff and haven't quite figured out the best way to showcase those things. So a couple of things. I want to first of all share this. This was gifted to me by my good buddy Bob Frank, who, if you saw one of my earlier videos, I found a ring that Bob had lost on a previous hunt after he had found it. So we were detecting one morning and found this beautiful Claddagh ring, put it in his pocket, showed us the ring at lunch. Somehow that afternoon, and it happens, right, it fell out of his pocket, his finder's bag, and so on. That was last summer, fall. Well, needless to say, I was fortunate enough to find it, returned it to Bob, gave me this ring case as a gift. So this is how I'm going to start to display my rings, and I've got some from last season in there. I've given a few away, but that's pretty cool. Also, a gift from Bob were some display cases. And I don't know if any of you use cases like this, but coincidentally, in this month's American Digger magazine, there happens to be an article that's labeled, okay, you found it, now show it. And it talks about some of the different display options, alternatives, but also best practices. And it gives some examples where people will, inside cases like the one I just showed you, also label their finds. It just makes it that much more interesting of a thing to kind of see and enjoy. So a few things to think about. Love to hear your thoughts, your solutions. I've seen some really cool things where people have cabinets where they have drawers that pull out, and in drawer number one is some item and so on. But would love to hear how you guys showcase and display your finds. Okay, the other thing I want to tell you that I'm working on is a test garden. Now, most of you know what test gardens are, but these are areas often in your own yard or another area where you bury different targets, coins, maybe some trash, to become better acquainted with how your detector works with those different targets. What is the signal, the VDI, the target ID? What does the tone sound like? Does that target react differently in your type of a soil? It's not 100% the same as finding something that's been buried for, say, 100 years, right? Because once you turn up that soil, something called the soil matrix is disturbed, but it's close. So at any rate, I'm going to make a test garden this year. And one of the things I wanted to do, I'm going to map out what coins are where, but I also wanted something in the ground to mark my test garden, right? So I found these plastic pegs, spikes, I don't know, call them what you will here. And I'm going to go ahead and label these. You know, is it a clad coin? Is it a silver coin? 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents, pull tab, that type of thing. I'm going to show how I've done that on a future video coming up, but this is something I'm working on here while I'm going to thread the needle while the weather's warming up and while that ground is still somewhat wet. It'll be a little easier to dig, but I picked these up on Amazon, and I do like to order all my equipment through local dealers, but I've not found anybody that carries anything like this. So I am going to put a picture up here and a title, so if you're interested in doing something similar, you can find these. Now, I failed to mention, I did recently subscribe to American Digger Magazine. I subscribed while I was down at the Mini Dig Stock event, and I have to say, I'm quite impressed with the articles, the coverage. If you're not familiar with this, I would take a look at it. I'm really looking forward to the next issue. Okay, the next thing I want to share with you, I've been using a pair of knee pads, especially in the spring and in the fall. Not only are they more comfortable, but listen, you don't have to change your pants every time you come in, and it saves the wear and tear on your clothing and your knees. But my pair is starting to kind of show its age. Mrs. History Digger repaired my current knee pads. They're still workable, but I've just ordered a new set. They're a different set than the first one. You're going to see them live with me. And I have to say, you know, my current pair, they get the job done. Not very comfortable. I've never found a pair of comfortable knee pads, but I'm hoping these are a little bit better. You know, they often will slip down. Okay, so these look pretty decent. I like the size. These are called No Cry knee pads. There's a buckle, and on my current ones, there's a buckle and there's an elastic strap. One's on the top, one's on the bottom. This employs two buckles that crisscross one another in an X fashion. So we'll find out if these are any better than my current pair, but this was the other thing I got in the mail this week. All right, this next item I'm really excited about. So when I was at Mini Dig Stock, I won an XP Deus metal detector, right? I have an XP ORX. I'm absolutely loving it, I must say. So this took a while to get. These were on back order for many of us here in the US, probably due to COVID, supply chain issues, and so forth. So let's take a look at it. I'm really excited to get it out and take advantage of some of those extra features on the Deus. So I'm really pumped, but let's see what's in the box. Okay, so this came to me from Matt Jones, who's just phenomenal to work with. Okay, and there it is. I'm going to turn it around, pull the box out of the cardboard here, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, here we go. Got the box out of the cardboard here. Made in France, of course, we know that. wireless detector. So if you're not familiar with this machine, there is no cable from the coil to the control unit. It's all wireless. It's also the lightest machine currently on the market. And I'll tell you what, I really enjoy it. It works well in my neck of the woods. Okay, so what do we have here? This is going to be a screen protector for the control unit, no doubt. Do not know what this is. This almost looks like some type, I'm doing this with one hand here. Looks like it's some type of case. I wonder if this is for the charging equipment. I think I may have received that with my ORX. I don't recall. I don't really remember getting that. I'm not sure. But that looks to be about the size of something you would either use for, it's not for your earphones. I think there's a case for the earphones. But I could be mistaken about that. Maybe that is the case. Now, these earphones will not work with my ORX, unfortunately. I think they did upgrade or change from, I think it's called the WS4 to WS5. So the earphones between the two are not going to be compatible. There we go. I did purchase, by the way, Andy Savish's book on the Deus. Have not looked at it yet, but am eager to get started on that. You know, I'm noticing. Okay, so this case, for example, that holds the control unit, did not receive that with the ORX. There's a clip on here. That's kind of nice to put on your belt, vest, whatever, presumably. This is going to be the strap for my arm cuff. I know there's two cables here. One is used for updates, if you need to update the firmware, the software, that type of thing. The other is for charging. This is my charging dongle. This is the charging dongle. If you're not familiar with the Deus or the ORX, I think this is really cool. This has three cords. One to charge your headphones, one to charge your coil. There's a battery that's attached to the coil. The other to charge your control unit. The only problem is I wish it had four, because I also need to charge my MI6 pinpointer. Okay, and what do we have here? Okay, there we go, a plug, wonderful. So here we can see the actual unit. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped about that. This is, I think, similar to the stem that comes with my ORX. I'm pretty sure. It has a slightly different look, but wondering if they've adjusted that and changed that, because I thought that the stem on the ORX was different. It may have been, a portion of it was carbon. I don't know, but it looks very similar, and I love the stem on my ORX. And then I do have another high frequency coil coming, but this looks like it's the X35 coil. Okay, excellent. That goes on the back of the stem. It looks like it has some charge in there because it's indeed blinking. But wow, we have a Deus, folks. So you know what that tells me? It's time to end this video. Time for me to play with my new toy here, and look for some videos coming soon with the XP Deus. So stay tuned for my test garden. Thank you if you're already a subscriber. If not, please consider it. So we'll catch you on the next video. Happy digging.